Hi guys, how are you all doing? So Boxing Nut here. So just a fight review of last night's fight, Jake Paul the problem child against Mike Perry. So Jake Paul winning, obviously 6th round knockout. I have put a video out just to show a few fight highlights of that knockout, but yeah, getting his record to 10-1. A few different angles with this fight, and I just want to make, analyse it a little bit. So first thing before the fight is Jake Paul was 40 pounds heavier. You could tell on the weigh-in, you could tell on the face-off, and he's gone for a fighter 40 pounds lighter. Now, weight classes are there in boxing for a reason, Set aside all the technical ability, set aside all the punch power, set aside all the stamina, all that. If you are heavier than a guy, you can manoeuvre him around the ring, you can out-muscle him. On the clinch, you can use your strength, you can push him away. So weight classes are there for a reason. As is, if you are lighter, you can move quicker, and that can be an advantage. But 9 times out of 10, the heavier guy will prevail because he's stronger and he's going to push you around in there. Because other than technical boxing ability, it's a fight at the end of the day, and that makes a massive difference. But when they actually got the tops off and they were in the ring, I noticed Jake Paul looked even more bigger, so that was a massive factor in the fight, and always was going to be. So obviously fight started round 1, and what I noticed straight away with Mike Perry is he had his hands down. Now, I don't know too much about bare knuckle boxing, haven't watched it too much, but obviously with your normal pro boxing, obviously you've got to have your guard up, you know what I mean? You've got to have your guard up, bring your punches back to your face, and Mike Perry just wasn't doing that. You can't do that against a guy like Jake Paul who likes to drop bombs on you. And if Mike Perry was in the ring with an out-and-out better pro boxer or more experienced pro boxer than Jake Paul, then it would have been a lot quicker. But obviously those shots landed early doors. The jab was always landing, knocking Mike Perry's head back. His arms were still down, and then Jake Paul just started putting the simple combinations together: double jab, right hook. Then he worked out the overhand right was landing on the button every time. So inevitably, about 2 minutes in, he sat Mike Perry down off an overhand right and shook Mike Perry basically. As the fight went on, obviously Mike Perry landed a couple of shots, but the power, you could see the power was with Jake Paul all the way through the fight. And inevitably, obviously Jake Paul hit him with an overhand right and a flurry of combinations and finished him in round 6. So yeah, that's it really. I mean, what can you say about Jake Paul? The only pro boxer he's ever fought, which arguably, is he at a domestic, he's that a domestic level fighter, and that's Tommy Fury, and that's the one he lost. So he always seems to fight people that are, he's considerably heavier than, or he's got better boxing ability because they're more MMA. Or Mike Perry, for instance, he's used to bare knuckle and MMA, so obviously it's a totally different ball game, obviously with 8-10 ounce gloves and obviously technique. So yeah, he's still handpicking his fights for me. So as an out-and-out pro boxer, he's still unproven in my eyes. But good performance for what it was. And don't get me wrong, Jake Paul can box. But yeah, I mean, it was just all Jake Paul last night, and it was always going to be. So let me know what you think about the fights, guys, and obviously the performance of both fighters. But yeah, catch you all soon.